So just a recap of the marketing plan is will be divided into three main parts, right? The first part is research, and we do a lot of research on the customers, the competitors, and then the client or the brand of the business that we're working with. And the first slide that I'm skipping through is that research part. Their goals as well, their vision, mission, etc. Competitor analysis.
That's different to the one I saw on Canva.
And then the positioning map, which is really important to have as well, because it helps to, inform what you're going to do for your value proposition. Point of difference of the company, value proposition, and I think last week we already finished up with this part already. And then today I'm going to talk about our methodology and how we can turn those research that we already have, the goals that the client want to have, into the actual strategy and the actual execution or marketing tactics that we're going to do. Yeah. And again, you guys might have seen this multiple times already, the sales methodology that we do at Social Star. And we always start with the sales target in the middle first, and then we work outward into how we can design our marketing tactics to suit each funnel, each phase of the funnel. And at each stage, they will have different conversion rate. So from sales to hot, there will be 25 conversion rate. So for example, if you want to have one sales in the middle, that if that's the target of your clients, then you might need to have at least 4 conversation with the interested lead already to be able to reach that goal. And there will be 10% conversion rate from hot to warm, which means that for every 4 conversation, you will need 40 people to engage with you, with your content, with your brand. And there will be another 10% from warm to cold as well. So if you want like 40 people to engage with your content or your brand, you will need around 400 connections in the cold phase. Yeah. And in the next few slides, I'll walk you through so how you can what are the marketing tactics you can do for each stage to ensure that you can reach those numbers. Yeah. So the first one will be the cold phase, and we call it like connection phase. And at this stage, people usually don't know about the brands yet. So it's really important that we spark the awareness for them. So they, so at this stage, they not even realize what are the offer that we can offer to them, what are the service products. They don't know the owner of the company. They don't know anything about the company yet. They might haven't heard about the name of the brand yet. And that is where we're going to introduce the brand to plant the seed of curiosity to the new target customer. Yeah. And obviously there are a lot of tactics that you can do to increase the awareness of your brand. But here are the 3 common ones that we usually do. The first one is LinkedIn outreach. So you actually connect with the target audience that you want to raise an awareness with, to introduce about yourself, to introduce about your brand. And this is something that you have been doing already for your personal brand, as in like introducing yourself with Social Star team, introducing yourself with the other marketing professional in the industry, so that you can have more connection with them. And then the second one is the high impact outreach. This is something that we usually do at Social Star for the doctors. So if you aware of the medical process or referral process in Australia, if you want to see a specialist, you usually have to go to the GP first, right? You need to go to GP, and that GP going to refer you to the specialist. And with our client as the specialist, we use this high impact outreach to help increase their brand awareness to the GP. So when the GP are aware of their offering, they're aware of the specialist name, aware of their expertise, and when they trust the specialist expertise, they will be more likely to refer the patient to that specialist. So that is how that high impact outreach is, and that is something that Joy is also doing at the moment for Recharge. There's a long process. We need to create a lot of like valuable collaterals, like algorithm, something that is valuable for the GP to use in their practice. And then we visit them in person to introduce about the brand, to give them the collateral so that they could use. And then there will be a personalized letter that we send to them as well to introduce them about the specialist. So that is kind of the process that we do for high impact outreach. And then the third one is paid ad. So if you want to reach new clients, usually paid ads is something that we usually do. And as I mentioned last time, there are kind of two types of advertising. One is Google, and one is social media ad. And the main difference of Google and social media ad is if you look for something on Google, it usually means that you actually have the intention for that specific product or for that specific service, right? For example, you can search for the pen specialist near me, for example. It means that you already have the intention of going to see the pen specialist, right? Whereas for the social media ad, it's usually a little bit more disruptive. You try to reach people who will be more likely to have that intention. However, it's not exactly that they have that intention in mind. So for example, sometimes when you using Instagram or Facebook, it's really easy to see the ad for clothing, for like Pilates places, for new cafes, for example. So those are the main difference of Google versus social media ads, and that is the tactic for you to reach new customer.
I also need to make that duplicate.
And then for this one is an example of the code tactics that we do for CampusLife. So apart from ads, we can reach the new clients by SEO focused content, for example, or we can do university collaboration, so that more people in that university can be aware of CampusLife, or we can reach out to a specific marketing society or clubs to collaborate with them, and that way we can access to the new pool of students who haven't heard about CampusLife. And lastly, the BYOB and CampusLife event. So we haven't have one event for this year yet, but in the previous year we have a few BYOB program, and that is where potential CampusLife students or BYOB participant gonna attend. So that is a way for us to approach and increase our awareness to our target audience. Is it clear for you? Any questions in the code phase?
Yeah, that's okay. I'll just
All good.
note that.
Next is the warm phase. So in this phase, it means that they already know your name, the target audience, they already know your name, and then now it's time to show them why you are the best. And so, for example, in the code part, you do LinkedIn outreach, right? So you do LinkedIn outreach and you send connection to the people who haven't know about you yet. And once they get connected back to you, it means that they already in your networks on LinkedIn and they become the warm audience. Yeah. Or if you run an ad in the code phase, or for example, and then they're aware of your brand, the next step could be they click into your profile or they click into your company page to look for more information about you. And that is when you start to have, you need to have already a lot of content on your page or you're on your social media platform so that they can reach more about you. And that is where our expert marketing system comes in, the 4x4 content system that I mentioned about in the past few weeks. So we usually have one personal blog to showcase the brand personality, the personal experience. It usually it could be coming from the owner of the brand, or even the staff, or even any other team member of the brand. It's a personal perspective. Yeah. And there will be one company blog. This one is a bit more educational, informative kind of content. And this will usually serve for SEO purposes. So you have a lot of like, for example, what is SEO, or what is a marketing plan, how you can do a marketing plan, for example. And the goal of this is to provide educational information to your target audience to increase your credibility, your brand credibility. It is also help you to increase your SEO ranking on search engines as well. And then we will have one internal post. This one is usually something that is happening within the company internally. So this could be about you introducing your team, meet the team post, or if you have any trainings, anything happening in the company. For example, at CampusLife, we have this weekly training. It could be an internal piece of content that we can do on our LinkedIn. It to give the audience an update on what is happening inside the company, and it's a way to connect with them more closer. And then the last one is an external post. This one is usually a post about what is happening in the industry. It could be like an educational post in a shorter form. And with this external post, what I usually do for my clients is a carousel. Because for carousel, it works really well on LinkedIn. We see that there's like much more engagement and click-through rate for the carousel post compared to any other single image post. So that is something that we can do. And then these are the example of how we do it for CampusLife. So as you see here, it's a high impact post that we do. And then another way that we can do is we can do newsletter. Anyone know what is newsletter? Or anyone that like design or build a newsletter before? Jasmine?
Is it like a form of email, like updating what's happening within the company?
Yeah, correct. It is a like monthly or bi-monthly email that you're gonna send to people who already subscribe to your newsletter. And when they already in your newsletter or in your database, it means that they are not cold audience anymore, right? They already in your database, which means that they have heard about your brand before, they're interested in your brand. That's why they click to subscribe your newsletter. And they are obviously called warm audience. And in order to re-engage with them, we can send them an email to re-engage. This could be a monthly thing that you can do to update them on what is happening within the company. If there's any educational or any valuable resources that you want to share with them, that is something that we can do. Or if you have like a webinar or anything coming up at your company and you want to invite your warm audience, you can do that as well. Speaking about the webinar, email marketing is one of the best, the most effective thing to do to invite people. Because if you do a webinar and then you invite people who don't know about your brand yet and you try to run ad on it, it still works, but you might need like 10,000 people to be aware of that webinar to have only 10 people to register. Whereas for warm audience, they already have some sort of trust or level of trust in your brand, so they will be more likely to register for the webinar if it's relevant to them. So let's say if you reach to cold people, you need 1,000, but if you reach to the warm people who are already in your network, you might only need like 100 people to have 10 people to register, for example. Yeah. And then the next thing is, aside from high impact content, which is blog and single image post or carousel that we do, we can also do short form videos as well. And these short form video, we can share about the student success story, the intern work showcase, or the founder insights. You might have already seen these videos on CampusLife page already. So that is a way for us to push out our content there for the audience to engage with that. Okay, any questions for this stage? With the short form video, actually, last intake, when I mentioned about this short form video, a lot of the intern actually asked me, is short form video really serve your warm audience or cold audience? I would love to hear your guys' thought on this before I explain it. Anyone want to volunteer? Otherwise, I might just call out whoever on the first one on my screen. Yeah. Perry, do you want to give your thought?
Pardon me, can you repeat the question?
So for short form videos, do you think it will serve the warm audience or cold audience?
Cold. Wouldn't it be cold?
Why is that?
Because it's more like paid ads. It's like more like social media based, isn't it?
Okay. Any other
I'm not too
idea?
sure.
Huh?
No, I'm not 100% too sure on it.
That's okay. All good. Thank you, though. How about you, Lapashi? What do you think?
Are you asking if the short form videos are more for the warm audience, the cold audience?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually have I kind of agree with both sides of it. Sometimes it reaches the warm audience if the algorithm makes it so, but sometimes it reaches a lot of the cold audience, and that if you don't emphasize on the product or service you're selling enough. For example, have you seen the Instagram reels from this company called Cluely?
Cool. What? Sorry.
Cluely.
No, I haven't.
It's like a tech startup, but the way that they promote their products, they basically make videos about different members of the company in the style of the show Office. So it kind of shows more of the company's personality and not enough of the product, and that's why it reaches mostly the cold audience. But I believe that if you do emphasize on what you're selling well enough and fix your branding, then it can reach the warm audience. But that's very difficult to do.
Yeah, love it, 100%. And you spot on. I think for short form videos can serve either cold or warm. It depends on who's gonna see it. Obviously, from your point, it's based on the type or the topic of the content that you're gonna do. For us to know that if it's served cold or warm, right? But another thing to remember as well is for short video that we do for CampusLife, for example, we usually do it for warm audience because it sits on our page. And only people who actually see who follow our page will see it, right? However, in case that it's gone viral on TikTok or on Instagram, for example, and when it's gone viral, we'll be able to reach more people who actually haven't heard about it before, and that is when it can serve the cold one as well. So it's a bit of both, depending on the type of the content you do, obviously, and also if it's reach more like people who haven't known about you yet as well. And it also depends on the channels as well. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Any other questions for that? Nope. Okay. Now, so cold and warm phase are usually the thing that we usually do for the business that we work with. And then the next phase is a hot phase, the conversation. So when your brand is already in the prospect consideration mindset, they're already aware of you, they already engaged with your content, you're already in your mind, they're in their mind, right? They know you, they kind of trust your content, and they like what you stand for. And now but they're not really ready to commit with your product or your brand yet. So what are the tactics that you can do to turn them into conversation? So there's a few things that we can do. First is the middle of funnel strategy, and this is a little bit more technical. So it's related to more on email marketing. So you will have a multiple email series so that you can re-engage with people who is already in your warm phase, which is in your database, and you will have a specific strategy to bring them from warm to have a conversation with you. And in order for them to have conversation with you, there's multiple ways as well. It could be either that they can reply to that email of you so that you have a conversation with them, or you design a webinar so that they can register for, and then that way they can join the webinar, have a conversation with you, answer any question that you might have. If you remember about the recruitment process that we do at CampusLife, we don't jump from application to having a one-on-one. We actually have a webinar, right? And if you're interested in CampusLife, that webinar serves as a place for the company to get to know you, and also as an opportunity for you to get to know a little bit more about the company before you actually decide if you want to sign on for the internship yet. So it's basically really similar to how you do it for the business. Yeah. And then the next thing you can do is lead gen scorecard. So this is something that require a bit more technical skills as well, that you build a series of questions you're gonna ask the client before they submit something to you. So let's say I have a client who is a international freight forwarder in logistics. And instead of the standard contact form that they give to the customer, we found that, sometimes when we're running Google Ads, we have like a large number of inquiries. However, not all of them are qualified enough, or they are not ideal customer for that logistic company. That's why we will redesign a scorecard, so that they have to go through a qualification process to answer like a bunch of questions. For example, what is how many freights they're gonna send per year, for example, or what is the specific service in terms of freight forwarding they are after. So that way we'll have more information about them, and then we can suggest a specific service that suits their need. Yeah. So it's adding another step in the process before they actually reach out. It helps the company to have more qualified customer, and it is also help the customer to have a more specific solution, or customized or personalized solution for them. Yeah. And then another example is I work with an accountant client, and their company helped the business to build a more profitable and resilient business. And obviously, if you work a business owner before, there's a lot of department in the business, right? There's marketing, operation, financial, etc. There's a lot of things to do. So a lot of the time, if the business is not going well, they need to have like a business health check kind of thing to understand where their company is at. Do they have any issue? Do they have any operational issue or financial issue? So we design like a scorecard for that accountant client to give the customer a chance to fill in the current status or the current condition or situation of that client. And then based on the inputs that the client put into this scorecard, we will give them a health check about their business. So that is like a valuable tool that we can give to the clients to move them forward from warm to hot before we actually close the sales with them. Because it might be easy to spend like $10 to buy a specific product, right? But if you have to spend like $10,000 for a service, your decision process might take a bit longer. You need more time, you need more effort to think about if the business is trustful enough for you to buy or spend that amount of money. So these scorecards, this middle funnel strategy is a ways for you to provide education information, to provide valuable tools for them to get closer to the sales phase. Yeah. The next thing is CRM system and processes. CRM system. Do you know what CRM means? Any idea? What does it stand for?
Is it like
Customer
customer
relationship management.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is it sort of like HubSpot where you just organize and schedule your content and do SEO optimization as well?
Yeah. So it's stand for client relationship management. Yeah, and that is a tool where you can, like for example, for HubSpot or High Level, which is the tool that we use at Social Star, is a one-stop shop. You can, if the customer send you a contact form to fill in to inquire a specific product, you can obtain their details and put it into your CRM system. So you can have all of the information of the customer, and then you will know which stage are they at as well. Are they in the inquiry stage, or are they already have a conversation with you, or are they already moving towards to the sales part? And it's really helpful for the sales team as well, so that they know which one is the one that they should prioritize to follow up with. Yeah. So if they already have a book or conversation with the company already, they're already in a really hot phase. So what is the next step the sales team have to do to move them towards to the sales part? Yeah. Or a few other things you can do with CRM system is that you can do email marketing. So depend on the type of the customer, you can actually do segmentation in CRM system as well. So for CampusLife, for example, we have 2 different segments in our database. We have one list for the students, and then we have one list for the business owner. And obviously, if we send email marketing per month, we can't send just one for both of them, right? Because the language that we use is different. And then the kind of information that we send to the student versus the business owner are going to be really different, right? So we need to segment them, and before we actually send emails to them. So that's something that CRM system can do. Another thing that it can do as well is you can use it to schedule content. So instead of you having to logging into multiple platforms for your client, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc., you can just log into this CRM system, and then you select what channel you want to publish your content. Is just do it for you. It will save a lot of time, increase efficiency for your work. Yeah. There's a lot of tools and things that you can do with CRM, which we might need to do like a separate section for it if you want to learn more. There's a lot you can do with CRM system. With Go High Level tool that we use at Social Star, we can actually build landing page on it as well. Or you can connect with your ad, and then you can, see all of the data of the report of your ad performance. You can see all of the social media performance, like a lot of things you can do. Right, and then this is now an example of what we can do for in the hot phase for CampusLife, for example. We can do a student portfolio system. We can do post-program communication sequence, which is like email marketing, a way to keep connected with the alumni who was with us in the last intake. Or we can do the email that we send you guys every week as well in those CRM systems. So these are a few examples that you can think of. But obviously for different businesses, the thing that you do, like the marketing tactic that you do will be different. Next is sales part. So after you transition people who don't know about you, engage with you, and then have a conversation with you, now it is really important to have a sales, a conversion phase, because this will decide if that customer gonna come on board with you or not, right? And this will require a lot of sales capability to do. And there's a few ways that you can do. For example, you can have like pre-product before they can buy a bigger product for you. So let me give you an example. At Social Star, for example, the main product we have is the marketing retainer, which means that the customer will pay us on a monthly basis so that we can provide content to help them to engage with their target audience, right? But is usually like a long-term commitment, and many businesses might not be ready for it yet because they don't know what is the content type that you're going to do for them, or what is the positioning, what is the value proposition that you do for them. That's why in the pre-product phase here, we have the marketing plan as our pre-product. So that is usually something that we pitch for at the start, and the pre-product is the marketing plan as I'm going through for you. So we do a workshop with them, and then we gather all of their insight, their goals, their mission, their vision, mission, and then we design a marketing strategy for them before they want to commit with our marketing retainer. Yeah. So if they buy this pre-product, you will have higher chance that they're gonna sign up for a retainer, because you already provide them a specific strategy. It's low barrier entry, it's one-off. They can just do marketing plan and move on. They don't have to commit on a monthly basis. So that is something that you can do, or annuity product or sales accelerators. These are the thing that is good to know, but we don't have to dive too much deep into that. And then this is something that we don't usually do for clients, but for CampusLife, the recruitment and then the process is a little bit more complicated. So we add in another step, which is after sales as well. So after you guys joining us as a marketing intern, then what are the next step, or what are the next value that we're gonna provide for you? Or even if we finish your internship, what is the next step that we can provide to you? For example, this could be the post-program pathway that we can provide you, etc. Cool. Any question for those phases? I know that there's a lot of information to process, so feel free to have a look at the slides afterwards and then rewatch the recording if you need to. Any question before I move on? Nope. Okay. So this one is another page where we include in the marketing plan or in the monthly report. It's really important slide to have for your monthly report, which I will run another section for that, because when you finish the marketing plan, and if the client agree for you to execute a marketing plan to communicate those value propositions through email, through content, through LinkedIn ads, etc., it's really important that you have a monthly report for them to actually diagnose what is working well and not working well in the journey. So every month it's important to do a report to see in the cold phase, what is your performance compared to the goal that you set in the marketing plan? How many engagement you have on your social media compared to your goal, or how many conversations the clients have with the potential clients. So in these two phases, it is marketing responsibility to have, right? So if you do LinkedIn ads, if you do content, you should be able to gather those information to present to clients. But for the hot phase or the sales phase, for example, it's important that you communicate with your clients so that you can understand this and get this information from them, because you wouldn't know how many conversations they have with clients or how many sales they have. That's why the weekly meeting with your client is really important. That is a way for you to communicate with clients to understand their sales situation, so that you can, customize your marketing strategy or marketing plan in the next month for them. I will run another section for the monthly report for you on this. Cool. And then this is just like an overview page of all of the services we do for client and social staff. Next is the content cadence. You might have seen this before already, the EMS system that we do, which include 4 main posts that we do per week for client. And the process for this, you're already aware as well, that we usually, after they agree with the value proposition that we propose to them, we will have an interview with them to get the insight from, because when you work with client, you already know that they are expert in their field. They could be a doctors, they could be an accountant, and they have a lot of information that you can gain from them. And they will have a personal case study, how they approach different situations as well. So having these content interview would be really important to get the insight to turn them into the content. Cool. And then this is the root of content topics. These are a few content pillars example that we can do. And then next one is a content plan. As you can see here, we will have 4 main pieces of content on top. And then every month we'll have one specific theme for that month. So let's say in like December, for example, we interviewed Adnan, who was a CampusLife alumni, about his journey at CampusLife, and then we put it into a personal blog. And then in the inside post, we'll do like a graphic single image post about his testimonial about working with CampusLife. And then for the business blog, it could be, more about educational information that Adnan give, or like a process of becoming a marketing coordinator, let Adnan to provide more information to you. And then the outside post could be something about the something happening in the industry about that theme, or we could introduce like a new product that we have that is related to Adnan journey, for example, because Adnan is an alumni at CampusLife, right? So it's quite compatible to do like a post-program product promotion as well. It's kind of share the same thing. So you can have a look at this, an example for your content plan. I know that we already shared this content plan, another content plan example for you already in the previous weeks. So you can have a look at both. Next page is just the meet the team page, and then this one is the action plan. So based on all of the value proposition and based on all of the phases marketing tactics that you recommend for the client, this one is really important for you to put together as well. It's an action plan to let the client know that what are the things that you will do each month for them. So for the content part, for example, you can't just produce content straight away after they sign on. You need to design a content plan. You need to have a content interview with them. And with the content interview, there's a process for it as well, right? So you need to know what are the themes that you're going to do. You need to write down the interview questions, and then you need to schedule a time to interview them. So it's take like a few weeks to a month for you to do it before you actually develop or publish the content. And then similar to other part of the process as well. So if you're gonna do email marketing, for example, you might need a month to edit or design a template for the email before you can actually send out the first email out. Yeah. Cool. And then this is just the next step. As an example for you to have a look as well, to see what is the thing that we need to do if they agree to sign on to our marketing plan. Cool. I think that is the end of the marketing plan already. Any question from you guys? What do you feel about it? Is it like clearer in terms of what you need to do for clients, or the process of doing a marketing plan? Do you feel you'll be confident to create a marketing plan for a client after you have these sessions? Yeah, cool, love it. And as I mentioned before, this one is for like for Social Star client. BYOB participant might have a different type of marketing plan because they at the initial phase of their business journey. So we have a separate marketing plan for it, which I can briefly share with you next week. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. If there's no questions, thanks for joining today, and I hope it's helpful for you. And have a good day. See you next week. Bye, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Pearly, thank you.
Thank you, Pearly. Bye.
No worries.
Bye.